But what do we do first before we start? Light the story or candle. What does that mean?
It means be quiet.
Quiet and listen and watch. Go. Scoot over, Jacob. Make room for Jacob. And our storyteller this morning is Debbie Pohlson. But you may know her in another role. So I'm going to let you guess before she does.
If I did this, see if you can guess who I am today. Anybody guess who I am? Or who am I dressed like? Nobody knows?
Let Heather know.
Like Peter Pan. Is that what you were going to say, Heather? Yes, Peter Pan. Do you know where Peter Pan lives? In Never Never Land, far away from here. And do you know who Peter Pan's friends are?
The Lost Boys.
The Lost Boys. You're right. And who is my enemy? Who do I fight with all the time? Captain Hook. Yes. But who doesn't like Captain Hook? Who tries to catch Captain Hook?
Peter Pan.
Yes, and who else?
The crocodile.
The crocodile. He wants to nibble at Captain Hook. So before I tell you the story of Peter Pan, I thought we would read some books about crocodiles first, okay?
And Captain Hook's are codfish.
Yes. They call him a codfish. He doesn't like to be called a codfish, does he? No. Let me first read you a story about a crocodile whose name is Cornelius.
I saw that once on the TV.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Let's read it here in this book. Cornelius. When the eggs hatched, the little crocodiles crawled out onto the river beach. But Cornelius walked out upright. You could scoot right in here. Can you scoot there?
I saw that on TV too.
Did you really? As he grew taller and stronger, he rarely came down on all fours. He saw things no other crocodile had ever seen before. I can see far beyond the bushes, he said. But the others said, so what? What's so good about that? I can see the fish from above, said Cornelius. The others said, so what? And so one day, Cornelius angrily decided to walk away. It was not long before he met a monkey. I can walk upright, Cornelius said proudly, and I can see things far away. I can stand on my head, said the monkey, and hang from my tail. Cornelius was amazed. Could I learn to do that, he asked. Of course, replied the monkey. All you need is a lot of hard work and a little bit of help. Cornelius worked awful hard at learning the monkey's tricks, and the monkey seemed happy to help Cornelius. When he had finally learned to stand on his head and hang from his tail, Cornelius walked proudly back to the river beach. Look, he said, I can stand on my head. What did everyone say? So what? And I can hang from my tail, said Cornelius. But the others just frowned. And what did they say? So what?
So what?
So what? Disappointed and angry, Cornelius decided to go back to the monkey who was his friend. But just as he had turned around, he looked back. What did he see? There the others were, falling all over themselves, trying to stand on their heads and hang from their tails. Cornelius smiled. Life on the river beach could never be the same again. Wouldn't that be funny to see crocodiles hanging from their tails and standing on their heads, on their pointed heads. Here's another story about a crocodile, and this book is called Rockabye Crocodile. You think you could rockabye like a baby a crocodile?
No.
Two elderly boars lived in the jungle. They were friends. They were neighbors. Amabel was cheerful and kind, and Nettie was mean and selfish. She wouldn't share. One morning, Annabelle trotted down to the river to fish. She was humming, hum, 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 as she passed a bamboo tree. It swayed to her tune and dropped two small fish into her basket. "Why, thank you," she said. The bamboo replied with a shower of minnows. Do you know what minnows are? Minnows are little tiny fish. So she got lots of little fish.
They'll probably be there. Fish go in that fish.
Amabel filled her basket, said thank you again, and went on. Now, what do you see here? What's this?
A crocodile.
Yeah, Amabel doesn't see that. She still needed a really big fish to fill her belly. Suddenly, she stumbled over a crocodile. "Oh dear," she cried. "Good morning, Grandmother," growled the crocodile. "Why don't you watch where you're going?" "Excuse me," Annabelle said. "I didn't see you. I was looking for fish for dinner." "I'll catch one for you," said the crocodile, "if you'll do something for me. Come into my cave." A baby crocodile lay howling in a mud puddle in a corner of a dirty, dark cave. "Isn't he sweet?" said the crocodile. "But he won't stop crying. Rock him to sleep, and you won't be sorry. I'll be right back." And off she went. The baby was muddy and cold, but Annabelle held him gently and rocked and hummed and rocked and hummed. Soon the baby stopped howling and went to sleep. The crocodile went into the deepest part of the river and caught some eels and crabs and a very, very large fish. Then she wove a basket from river reeds, filled it, and returned to the cave. What a smart crocodile! "Here, Grandmother," she said. "Come back whenever you want more fish." "Thank you, I will," said Annabelle. "He's such a nice baby." Then she hurried home. "Where'd you catch all those fish?" Nettie asked. "It all started with the bamboo tree," said Annabelle. "And then I met a crocodile." She told Nettie the whole story while they shared the fish. Early the next morning, Nettie rushed to the river with a huge basket. What do you think Nettie's after? With a big basket in hand? I think so. She shook the bamboo tree. "Turn your leaves into fish," she ordered. Nothing happened. She butted the tree hard. The bamboo snapped back and sent her flying into a prickling bush. "Ow!" she screamed and ran along the riverbank. "Where's that crocodile and that crybaby?" she demanded. The crocodile stuck her head out of the cave. "Oh, there you are," Nettie grumbled. "Go fill this basket with eels and crabs and fish. And hurry up about it." The crocodile was very angry, but she said, "Rock my baby to sleep, and I'll do what you ask." Nettie grabbed the baby and bounced him up and down. What an ugly son. "If I had one like you, I'd run," she crooned. The poor baby cried harder. It wasn't long before the crocodile returned. She snatched back her baby and handed Nettie a basket. "Don't uncover the basket before you lock your doors and windows, or the fish will escape," said the crocodile. Nettie grabbed the basket and was out of the door and running home. "This food is all for me," she decided. "I won't share even a fish eye with Annabelle." Nettie sneaked into her house and bolted the door. She sealed the windows and stuffed grass into the cracks and holes. Finally, she opened the basket. Wah! Out came spiders and scorpions and bats and rats. Ooh, Nettie was scared. She huddled into a corner. Next door, Amabel heard the noise. What a ruckus, she thought. I better see what's going on at Nettie's house. Amabel had to break the door down. The spiders and the scorpions and the bats and the rats rushed out the open door. Oh, Amabel, Nettie cried. I'm so glad to see you. I've been such a fool. Poor Nettie, said Amabel. Come over to my house and I'll have some tea and tell me all about it. From that day on, Nettie and Amabel took turns caring for the crocodile baby and the bamboo tree, and the crocodile supplied them with all the fish they ever wanted. Isn't that a nice story?
Yeah.
Now here is a funny story. Have any of you read Mama Don't Allow? This is about alligators, which is like crocodiles. So we'll read about this one. Miles got a saxophone for his birthday. Here's his saxophone in his package. And his parents say, oh, how nice. Well, what happens? Miles plays it, and it makes a big, loud noise. Squawk! Oh, Miles practiced, and he practiced, and he practiced, until his mama and his papa couldn't stand it anymore, and his mama said, dear, why don't you practice outside? And so out Miles went. And he practiced outside, and he was very, very loud. And all these people along here are going, oh, how awful, how noisy, how loud, what a racket. Miles strolled down Main Street, where he met a drummer named Al. Up Swamp Lane, where he met a guitarist named Bert. And over Bayou Bridge, where he met a trumpet player named Doc. Hey, let's play some music, said Miles. Loud music, said Al. Let's be a band, said Bert. The Swamp Band, cried Doc. And they played as loud as they could. Soon the whole town cried out, swamp bands play in the swamp. But down in the swamp, at the edge of town, the sharp-toothed, long-tailed, yellowed-eyed and the alligator said, we love that swamp band music. Miles says, you do? We like it loud. Really, we like it really loud. And they say, come and play for the alligator ball. Saturday night after the sun goes down, you meet us at the riverboat. Miles and the band says, we'll be there. They got their first gig. Saturday night when the sun went down, the alligators came from miles around. They were dressed in their finest. The swamp band played their favorite song. Mama don't allow no music playing round here. Mama don't allow no music playing around here. Here they all are dancing. Have you ever seen alligators dancing before?
Yeah.
All dressed up in their finest. Now, we don't care what Mama don't allow. We're going to play that music anyhow. The swamp band played far into the night. When the music was over, the band was hungry. So were the alligators. What do you think the alligators like to eat? Something tender, something juicy. The alligators snapped their jaws and smacked their lips. And what's this right here?
Fire.
Fire. And what's on that fire? A big pot of soup. And what do you think they're going to put in that soup? I think they're going to make swamp band soup. Whoa! There's Miles going into the pot of soup. Miles says, wait! How about one more song before dinner? Okay, but make it short, says the alligators, and make it sweet. And so the band sang a lullaby of swamped land. When the moon is rising and the moss hangs low, when the swamp is quiet and the waters are slow, that's the time to sing softly and lay your head awfully far down in the gooey, muddy swamp. Alligators fell fast asleep. Miles piloted the riverboat back to Swampville, and the swamp band tiptoed home. Playing that lullaby as quiet as they could. They don't want it to what? They don't want to wake up. And Mama said, oh, how nice. That's the end of the story. Should we stand up and stretch a minute? You are all very good listeners. I have a little song about crocodiles. And we'll try this song, okay? You can watch me first. Never smile at a crocodile. Don't be taken in by his silly grin. Don't delay. Walk away from Mr. Crocodile. Will you do that with me now? Okay? Can you do a crocodile? Can you be a big crocodile? That's his jaws. Okay, let's do it. Never smile at a crocodile. Don't be taken in by his silly grin. Don't delay. Walk away from Mr. Crocodile. Good job. You got turned around, crocodile. You want to try it one more time? Can you sing loud?
Okay.
Okay, let's do it. Never smile at a crocodile. Don't be taken in by his silly grin. Don't delay. Walk away from Mr. Crocodile. Good job. Now, can you all sit back down again? And I'll tell you my favorite story of all. What do you think that is?
Peter Pan.
Peter Pan. That's right.
Peter Pan.
Peter Pan. This is a wonderful story about a little boy who wanted never to grow up. And Peter Pan, this is where it starts, at the home of Wendy, John, and Michael Darling. And every night before they'd go to bed, Wendy would sit down and tell John and Michael stories about, wonderful stories, fairy tales. She'd tell them about Cinderella. She'd tell them about pirates and Indians and adventures. And you know who would come and listen to those stories outside the nursery window?
Peter Pan.
And his friend Tinkerbell. And they'd sit there and they'd listen to the stories because at Never Never Land, they don't have any mothers or big sisters to tell them stories. And they'd sit there and they'd listen to Wendy tell these wonderful stories. And one night, Peter Pan flew away so fast that he forgot his shadow. So he went back to Wendy and John and Michael's bedroom window and snuck in one night and found his shadow folded up in a drawer. But Peter Pan didn't know how to stick it back on. And while he was trying to figure it out, Wendy woke up and she said, Peter Pan, I'll sew it back on for you. And so Wendy tells them stories while she is sewing Peter Pan's shadow back onto him. Oh, Peter Pan loves the stories. And he says, Wendy, why don't you and Michael come back with us to Never Never Land? You can tell stories to me and to my friends, the Lost Boys. And John and Michael, you'll love Never Never Land. There are adventures there that we can have. There are pirates and there are real Indians. The Indians are our friends. And so Wendy and John and Michael say, oh yes, take us with you. And so how do they go to Never Never Land?
Fly.
Yes, Peter Pan teaches them how to fly. And they fly out the nursery window. And they're off to Never Never Land. But in Never Never Land, on the pirate ship, Captain Hook was as usual grumbling about Peter Pan. You see, once in a fair, clean fight, long ago, Peter Pan had cut off one of the pirate's hands so that he had to wear a hook instead. That's why they call him Captain Hook. Then Pan threw the hand to a crocodile who enjoyed the taste of Hook so much that he kept following Captain Hook around, wanting to nibble at him because it tastes so good. Now, as Captain Hook was still talking about his young enemy, someone on the ship said, "Ahoy there, mateys! Peter Pan up high in the sky!" Sure enough, there's Peter Pan on the clouds. And they start to shoot guns at him. Peter Pan says, Tinkerbell, take Wendy, John, and Michael down to the hideout, and I'll try to fight off the pirates. Well, Tinkerbell's getting a little jealous. Away Tinkerbell flew as fast as she could. In her naughty little heart, she hoped that the children would fall behind and be lost. Especially was she jealous of the Wendy girl, who seemed to have won Peter Pan's heart. Straight down through the Never Never Land jungle she went until she came to the hideout where they lived. And she flew down into the hideout and she wakes up Peter Pan's friends, the Lost Boys. And she says to them, Peter Pan wants you to go shoot down the Wendy bird who's flying into Never Never Land. And so they all go out into the jungle and she says, there's the Wendy bird. And they throw arrows and rocks at Wendy and John and Michael. Peter Pan flies down to the Lost Boys and says, what are you doing? That's not a Wendy bird. That's our mother. I brought Wendy here to tell us stories and make us pockets and to clean the hideout for us. Oh, the Lost Boys feel kind of bad about this. So they say, John and Michael, come with us and we'll go out into the jungle and we'll have an adventure. We'll fight with the Indians. The Indians are friends. And then we'll fight with the pirates. So the Lost Boys and John and Michael go off into the forest and they have an adventure. And Wendy and Peter Pan fly because Wendy wants to meet a real mermaid. And so Peter Pan takes her to a lagoon where mermaids were swimming. Well, in the lagoon there was trouble. Those mean old pirates had captured the princess of the Indians. Does anyone know what the princess's name is? Can you remember?
Tiger Lily.
Right, Heather. Her name is Tiger Lily. And they've got her tied up here in this boat. Well, Peter Pan's thinking of a wonderful plan. He pretends that his voice is Captain Hook. Ahoy there, mateys! Let Princess Tiger Lily loose. Oh, pirates are confused. Well, Captain Hook, you told us to capture her. We're trying to find out where the hideout is to the lost boy of Peter Pan. Peter Pan's trick voice is, let her go, mateys. So they let Tiger Lily go. Well, then in walks Captain Hook and he says, what have you done? Oh, we let Tiger Lily go. You told us to. That was a trick. That Peter Pan tricked you again. So then Captain Hook and Peter Pan have another good, clean fight. Who's going to win? Peter Pan wins. He flies away. Oh, that makes Captain Hook so mad. So Captain Hook kidnaps Tinkerbell. And he says, Tinkerbell, I hear that Peter Pan loves Wendy now. Tinkerbell's so sad. And she's mad now, too. Captain Hook says, where does Peter Pan live? And she says, he lives right here on this map. Now Captain Hook knows where Peter Pan and the Lost Boys live. So Captain Hook takes the pirates and they're going to go kidnap Peter Pan, Wendy, John, and Michael, and all the Lost Boys. Well, Peter Pan and Wendy and the Lost Boys are all having a wonderful party with the Indians, celebrating that Princess Tiger Lily is back home. And so as they're coming back to their hideout, Wendy and John and Michael are starting to feel a little homesick. They want to go home. And so they get to their house and they say to Peter Pan, why don't you come home with us? And Peter Pan says, no, I don't want to ever grow up. I don't want to be a grown-up. I'm going to stay in Neverland forever. And so Wendy and John and Michael and the Lost Boys all climb out of the hideout and are ready to go home. But what happens? Who's waiting for them up there? Who's going to get them?
Captain Hook.
Captain Hook and the pirates. They're up there, and they capture them as they come out. And then these mean old pirates are dropping down a present that says, "To Peter Pan from Wendy." And you know what's in that? A bomb. They're going to try to get Peter Pan. Well, the pirates take the Lost Boys and Wendy and John and Michael back to the pirate ship to make them turn pirates or kill them. And Tinkerbell sees all the terrible things that she's done, and so she runs down and she tells Peter Pan, "Don't open that package, there's a bomb in it." And Tinkerbell and Peter Pan fly away. And over here on the pirate ship, what's happening? The pirates and Captain Hook say, "All of you are going to have to become pirates or you have to walk the plank." Wendy says, "I will never be a pirate. Peter Pan will rescue me. I know he will." So she starts to walk the plank. She comes to the end. She jumps off. You know what? They never hear a splash of water. All they hear is, "Ah, ah, ah!" What happens?
Peter Pan.
Peter Pan rescues her. He's down there and he picks her up and he flies her up to the top of the ship where she's safe. And then Peter Pan lets loose all the Lost Boys on the ship and they all fight the pirates and the pirates all jump overboard. And you know who else jumps overboard? Who?
Captain Hook.
Captain Hook. And who's tick-tocking after him?
The crocodile.
The crocodile wants to eat a little more of Captain Hook. So Peter Pan and Wendy and John and Michael have all won, and Peter Pan does a wonderful thing. He turns the ship, makes the ship fly home back to the nursery window. And Wendy, John, and Michael go back home, and the Lost Boys decide to go back to Neverland for their more adventures. And they all fly back home. Do you like that story of Peter Pan?
Yeah.
Isn't that wonderful?
Is there another one?
Oh, I think we're about out of time, but I have one more little treat. Will you all close your eyes? Close your eyes. Real good. Now, when you open them up, I'm going to give you one more treat. Open your eyes up and fly back home and have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.
Okay, one thing before you fly back home.
Sit down, boys and girls, just for one more second, okay?
What do we do?
Gregory and Heather and Aaron, sit down. We're doing something different. Sit down.
Time to blow out the story or a candle. And what do we say? Remember? A burning candle has no place to go but out.
Okay, Papa, please get the moon for me. Bye. Eric. Oh, remember? Whoop, whoop. Moon, 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 right. Before Monica went to bed, she looked out of her window and saw the moon. The moon looked so near. I wish I could play with the moon, thought Monica, and she reached for it. But no matter how much she stretched, she couldn't touch the moon. Papa, said Monica to her father, please get the moon for me. Oh, I need some help. Papa got a very long ladder. Good job. He carried the very long ladder towards a very high mountain. Hey, Jenny, sides of Jenny. Then Papa put the very long ladder on top of the very high mountain. Up and up and up he climbed. I need two helpers in this. Finally, Papa got to the moon. My daughter Monica would like to play with you, said Papa, but you are much too big. Every night I get a little smaller, said the moon. When I am just the right size, you can take me with you. Some helpers up here. Thank you. And indeed, the moon got smaller and smaller and smaller. Oh, I think this is David's turn. When the moon was just the right size, Papa took it. Down and down and down he climbed. Here, said Papa to Monica, I have the moon for you. Monica jumped and danced with the moon. She hugged the moon and threw it into the air. But the moon kept getting smaller and smaller and smaller. And finally it disappeared altogether.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's all gone, isn't it? Then one night Monica saw a thin sliver of the moon reappear. Each night the moon grew and grew and grew. What's that?
His eye, his eye.
Yeah, full moon. Oh, that was a nice one. Would you like that one? Caps for sale?
Yes.
No,
that one. Yes.
Quick as a Cricket first, then we'll do Caps for sale, okay? Quick as a Cricket by Audrey Wood. What's that right there?
Cricket.
A cricket. Yeah. I'm as quick as a...
Cricket.
I'm as slow as a... I'm as small as an ant. I'm as large as a...
Yay.
I'm as sad as a basset. I can't even go as a basset. I'm as happy as a lark. What's a lark?
Bird.
A bird. I'm as nice as a... I'm as mean as a shark. I'm as cool as a toad. I'm as hot as a fox. I'm as weak as a kitten. I'm as strong as an ox. I'm as
Giant.
loud as a lion. I'm as quiet as a... I'm as tough
And
as
the final.
rhino. I'm as gentle as a... I'm as brave as a tiger. I'm as shy as a shrimp. I'm as tame as a poodle. I'm as wild as a chimp. I'm as lazy as a lizard. I'm as busy as a bee. Put it all together and you got me. Good job, reading. Okay.
That one.
Caps for
Then
sale.
that one.
Then the next. All right, you like all these books. Caps for sale. Once there was a peddler who sold caps, but he was not like an ordinary peddler carrying his wares on his back. He carried them on top of his head. First, he had on his own checked cap, then a bunch of gray caps, then a bunch of brown caps, then a bunch of blue caps, and on the very top,
Red caps.
red caps. He walked up and down the streets, holding himself very straight so as not to upset his caps. As he went along, he called, "Caps, caps for sale, 50 cents a cap." One morning, he couldn't sell any caps. He walked up the street and he walked down the street calling, "Caps, caps for sale, 50 cents a cap." But nobody wanted any caps that morning. Nobody wanted even a red cap. He began to feel very hungry, but he had no money for lunch. "I think I'll go for a walk in the country," he said, and he walked out of town, slowly, slowly, so as not to upset his caps. He walked for a long time until he came to a great big tree. "That's a nice place for a rest," thought he, and he sat down very slowly under the tree and leaned back little by little against the tree trunk so as not to disturb the caps on his head. Then he put his hand to feel if they were straight. First his own checked cap, then the gray caps, then the brown caps, then the blue caps, and the red caps on the very top. They were all there, so he went to sleep. He slept for a long time. When he woke up, he was refreshed and rested. But before standing up, he felt with his hand to make sure his caps were in the right place. All he felt was his own checked cap. He looked to the right of him. No caps. He looked to the left of him. No caps. He looked in back of him. No caps. He looked behind the tree. No caps. Then he looked up into the tree. And what do you think he saw? What did he see? On every branch sat a monkey. On every monkey was a gray or a brown or a blue or a red cap. The peddler looked at the monkeys. The monkeys looked at the peddler. He didn't know what to do. Finally, he spoke to them. "You monkeys, you," he said, shaking a finger at them. "You give me back my caps." But the monkeys only shook their fingers back at him and said, "Tss, tss, tss." This made the peddler angry. So he shook both hands at them and said, "You monkeys, you give me back my caps." But the monkeys only shook both their hands back at him and said, "Tss, tss, tss." Good job. Now he felt quite angry. He stamped his foot and said, "You monkeys, you better give me back my caps." But the monkeys only stamped their feet back at him and said, "Tss, tss, tss." By this time, the peddler was really very, very angry. He stamped both his feet and shouted, "You monkeys, you must give me back my caps." But the monkeys only stamped both their feet back at him and said, "Tss, tss, tss." At last he became so angry he pulled off his own cap, threw it on the ground, and began to walk away. But then each monkey pulled off his cap, and all the gray caps and all the brown caps, all the blue caps and all the red caps came flying down out of the tree. So the peddler picked up his cap and put them back on his head. First his own checked cap, then the gray caps, then the brown caps, then the blue caps, then the red caps on the very top. Slowly, slowly, he walked back to town calling, "Caps, caps for sale, 50 cents a cap." Good job reading.
Now that.
The tickle one? Oh, Ginny says that was good. You guys did a good job reading the books. Tickle, tickle? All right, we'll do tickle, tickle, even with the camera. Doesn't matter. Squelch, squelch in the mud. Splish, splash, scrub a dub. Gently, gently brush your hair. Tickle, tickle under there. Good job. You guys like to read. You want to read all the books.
Now this. Mommy, now this.
How about you read that to Ginny and Mama?
No, it can't.
You can't? What do you do with the kangaroo?